Imagine holding a simple quarter in your hand and realizing it could change your life. Today we are diving deep into one of the most mysterious and talked about coins in American history, the 1846 to 2004 D Mint Mark quarter dollar, a coin that has collectors buzzing, investors watching closely, and everyday people checking their pockets right now. This is not just another old coin story, this is about hidden value, unexpected rarity, and a market price that has reached as high as $82,376 in special cases. So stay with me, because by the end of this video you will look at quarters very differently. The story begins in the mid-19th century when the United States Mint was expanding production to meet a growing nation. Quarters were more than pocket change, they were symbols of commerce, progress, and trust. From 1846 onward, quarters were struck in various mints, but when you see the D Mint mark, something special enters the picture. The D stands for the Denver Mint, a facility that would later become legendary among collectors for producing coins with unique characteristics, low mintage years, and striking errors that today command huge premiums. Fast forward through history, wars, economic booms, and recessions, and you will find quarters evolving in design, metal composition, and minting technology. Yet across the span from 1846 all the way to 2004, certain Denver Mint quarters slipped through the system with traits that collectors now chase obsessively. Some were struck on the wrong planchet, some showed doubled dies, some have dramatic off-center strikes, and some survived in pristine condition against all odds. Condition is everything in coin collecting, and this is where the magic really happens. An ordinary-looking D Mint Mark quarter found in circulated condition might be worth only face value, but the same coin preserved in near-perfect mint state can be a completely different story. Collectors use professional grading services to evaluate strike luster, surface preservation, and eye appeal. When a rare Denver quarter receives a top grade, its value can skyrocket instantly, sometimes reaching tens of thousands of dollars, and yes, in rare documented cases values have climbed to around $82,376. What makes the 1846 to 2004 range so fascinating is the sheer variety within it. Early quarters were made with silver, giving them intrinsic metal value. Later quarters transitioned to copper nickel-clad compositions, yet rarity does not always depend on silver content. It depends on how many were made, how many survived, and how many collectors want them. Today demand plays a massive role, and demand for Denver Mint errors and high-grade examples has never been stronger. Imagine a collector discovering a high-grade D Mint quarter from a low mintage year sitting unnoticed in an old family collection or inherited coin jar. Stories like this happen more often than you think. People assume quarters are boring, common, and worthless, but history keeps proving that assumption wrong. Auctions have shocked the hobby with record-breaking prices, and every headline fuels even more interest, bringing new collectors into the market. One reason values have surged is scarcity. As years pass, coins are lost, damaged, or melted down, especially older silver issues. Pristine survivors become rarer every decade. At the same time, global interest in American coins continues to grow. Collectors from around the world compete for the best examples, pushing prices higher and higher. This combination of shrinking supply and growing demand is exactly how legendary prices are born. Now let us talk about errors, because errors are where dreams are made. A Denver Mint quarter with a dramatic minting error can be a once-in-a-lifetime find. Think about doubled lettering that looks like it is vibrating off the surface, missing clad layers that reveal raw copper underneath, or wrong metal strikes that should never have existed. These mistakes were not supposed to leave the mint, yet some did, and today they are among the most valuable quarters known. Even modern quarters from the late 20th century and early 2000s can be extremely valuable if they show the right characteristics. A 2004 D Mint quarter, for example, might seem ordinary, but if it displays a rare error or an exceptional strike with full details and blazing luster, collectors will pay astonishing amounts for it. Age alone does not determine value. Rarity and condition do. This is why checking your change matters. Start by looking for the D Mint mark just to the right of Washington's ponytail on older designs or beneath the motto on later issues. Then examine the coin closely under good lighting. Look for doubling, odd textures, off-center images, or anything that looks unusual. If something catches your eye, do not clean the coin. Cleaning can destroy value. Instead, place it safely in a holder and consider professional evaluation. The idea that a small everyday coin could be worth more than a luxury car captures the imagination and fuels viral interest. Online videos about rare quarters regularly rack up millions of views because they tap into hope, curiosity, and the thrill of discovery. Everyone wants to believe that life-changing money could be hiding in plain sight, and sometimes that belief is justified. Collectors who specialize in Denver Mint quarters know that patience, knowledge, and timing are key. Markets fluctuate, but top-tier examples consistently perform well. At auction, some have set records that still stand today, and experts believe that the best pieces may continue to rise as fewer become available for sale. So the next time you hear the clink of change or see a quarter on the ground, do not ignore it. Remember the long journey from 1846 to 2004. Remember the Denver Mint and the stories of rarity, errors, and survival. Remember that somewhere out there a quarter has sold for as much as $82,376, and the next discovery could be waiting for someone just like you if you enjoy uncovering hidden value and learning the secrets behind everyday objects. This is your sign to stay curious, keep searching, and never underestimate what you already have, because history, wealth, and opportunity sometimes come in the smallest, most unexpected forms, and that humble D-Mint Mark quarter might just be the most exciting coin you will ever hold. Today I am going to reveal one of the most shocking modern coin stories that is exploding across the internet right now. And if you are watching this video, you might already be holding a small piece of metal that could change your life forever. This is the 2019 Mint Mark $quarter coin, a coin most people ignore, a coin most people spend without thinking, and a coin that some collectors are whispering could be linked to a mind-blowing value of $14 million. Yes, you heard that right, $14 million from a single quarter that looks ordinary at first glance but hides an extraordinary story. So stay with me until the end, because what you are about to hear could completely change the way you look at your spare change forever. The year 2019 was a historic year for United States quarters because it marked the continuation of the America the Beautiful quarter program, and also introduced several design transitions that caught collectors' attention across the world. Millions of quarters were struck that year at the Philadelphia Mint marked with AP, and while most of these coins are only worth face value, a very tiny number stand out due to extreme mint errors, rare strikes, experimental planchets, or special circumstances that can turn an everyday quarter into a legendary collectible. Now let us talk about why the 2019 P quarter has become one of the most searched coins online. People are posting videos, photos, and stories claiming that certain 2019 P quarters have sold for insane prices, and while many of these stories are exaggerated or misunderstood, they are based on something very real, and that is the fact that error coins and unique mint anomalies can reach prices that shock even experienced collectors. Imagine a quarter that was struck on the wrong metal planchet. Imagine a quarter that shows dramatic off-center strikes, missing layers, double strikes, or minting mistakes so extreme that they are one of a kind. These are the types of coins that auction houses fight over. These are the types of coins that museums want to display, and these are the types of coins that can reach prices in the millions under the right conditions. When people hear $14 million, they immediately think it sounds impossible, and for a normal quarter it absolutely is. But in the world of rare coins, value is not about age alone, it is about rarity, condition, story, and demand. A single unique coin with a documented mint error that cannot be replicated can become priceless, especially if it represents a mistake that should never have left the mint. The Philadelphia Mint produces hundreds of millions of coins every year, and even with advanced technology, mistakes still happen, but most are caught and destroyed. The few that escape into circulation become instant legends. Collectors search rolls, banks, flea markets, and pocket change every single day, hoping to find that one impossible coin. Now imagine finding a 2019 P quarter that weighs differently from a normal quarter, feels different in your hand, sounds different when dropped, and shows strange visual features that no regular quarter should have. This is when experts step in. Coins like this are sent to professional grading services where they are authenticated, analyzed, and sealed in protective holders with detailed descriptions. If a coin is confirmed to be struck on a rare experimental metal, or if it is the only known example of its kind, its value can skyrocket. Overnight, headlines explode, collectors compete, and the coin becomes famous. This is how ordinary coins become extraordinary. The reason the 2019 P quarter is so important is because modern era coins are far harder to find than older ones. Quality control today is extremely strict, so a dramatic error from a modern mint is exponentially rarer than one from decades ago. Rarity on top of rarity creates massive value. Most people spend quarters without a second thought. They buy coffee, they pay parking, they drop them into jars, but somewhere out there someone unknowingly passed along a coin that could be worth more than a mansion, more than a luxury car, more than a lifetime of savings. So what should you look for? First, check the mint mark, look for the P. Next, check the design and date 2019. Next, examine the edges, the weight, the thickness, and the sound. Next, look for missing details, doubling, strange textures, or incorrect metal color. If anything looks unusual, do not clean the coin. Cleaning destroys value. Immediately, if you believe you have something special, place it in a protective holder and have it evaluated by a professional grading service. This single step can be the difference between a forgotten coin and a historic discovery. Stories like this are why coin collecting is more exciting than ever. Treasure is still out there hiding in plain sight, and sometimes the greatest finds come from the most unexpected places. The idea that a 2019 P quarter could be linked to a value as high as $14 million represents the extreme top of the market reserved for unique museum-level errors, but the lesson here is clear. Never underestimate modern coins, never assume new means worthless, and never ignore your change. Every legendary coin started as ordinary money until one person noticed something different, one person paid attention, one person asked questions, and one person took action. So the next time you receive a quarter, pause for a moment, look closely, because history, wealth, and opportunity can be hiding right in your hand. If you enjoyed this story and want more shocking coin discoveries, rare money secrets, and real treasure hunting videos, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with every collector you know, because the next legendary coin might already be in your pocket right now. Welcome back, coin hunters and history lovers. Today you are about to discover one of the most shocking modern coin stories ever told, a coin that most people still ignore, a coin hiding in plain sight, a coin that could change your life forever. If you are watching this video to the end, because today we are talking about the unbelievable 2013 P Mint Mark $quarter coin, a modern quarter that some collectors believe could be worth up to $11 million. Yes, you heard that right, $11 million from a coin you might still have in your pocket right now. So stay focused, stay curious, and do not skip even a second, because what you are about to learn could make you see your loose change in a completely new way. The story of the 2013 P $quarter begins at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the most historic mints in the world, a mint that has produced coins for generations, and in 2013 millions of quarters were struck and released into circulation. Most people spent them without a second thought, buying coffee, snacks, or fuel, never realizing that among those ordinary-looking quarters there could be extraordinary examples with rare errors, rare characteristics, and unique conditions that make collectors go absolutely crazy. The key to this story is not just the date or the mint mark, but the tiny details that separate an everyday coin from a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Collectors know that value is created by rarity, condition, demand, and story, and the 2013 P quarter checks all of those boxes when the right factors come together. Some experts believe that a small number of these quarters may feature ultra-rare mint errors such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, wrong planchets, missing clad layers, or dramatic die breaks that turn a simple coin into a historic artifact. And when these errors appear on a modern coin in pristine condition, the value can explode beyond imagination. Imagine holding a quarter that looks normal at first glance, but under magnification reveals a dramatic doubling in the lettering, or an unusual thickness, or an incorrect metal composition. These are the kinds of discoveries that have caused collectors to pay insane prices at private sales and high-end auctions. The idea of an $11 million quarter may sound impossible, but history has shown us again and again that coins once considered ordinary can become legendary when the right combination of rarity, condition, and hype collide. Just think about famous coins like the 1913 Liberty nickel or the 1943 copper penny, which were once just mistakes but later became some of the most valuable coins on the planet. The same principle fuels the excitement around the 2013 P quarter today. Social media videos, auction rumors, collector forums, and viral posts have all contributed to a growing legend around this coin. As more people search their change, more discoveries are reported, and every new find adds fuel to the fire. The modern coin market is driven not only by history but by attention. And when attention reaches a critical mass, prices can skyrocket, especially when wealthy collectors compete to own the most unique example in existence. Imagine a billionaire collector wanting the finest known 2013 P quarter with a dramatic error graded at the highest level by a top grading service. In that moment, price becomes almost irrelevant because ownership, prestige, and bragging rights take over. This is how seven-figure and even eight-figure prices are born. The $11 million figure represents the extreme high end of what collectors speculate could be possible for a truly one-of-a-kind specimen, and that possibility is enough to keep people searching, checking, and holding on to their coins instead of spending them. Every detail matters: the shine, the strike, the edges, the weight, the sound when it drops on a table. Even the smallest anomaly can be the clue that leads to a life-changing discovery. This is why experts always say never clean your coins, never damage them, and always store potential finds safely, because condition is everything. A coin that looks untouched, fresh from the mint with blazing luster, can be worth exponentially more than the same coin with scratches or wear. If you think you might have a special 2013 P quarter, the next step is education and verification. Learn how to weigh your coin, learn how to inspect it under magnification, compare it to known examples, and if something feels off in a good way, consider professional grading and authentication, because only then can the true story of your coin be told. The excitement around this quarter is also a reminder that treasure hunting is not limited to ancient artifacts or buried gold. Sometimes treasure is hiding in your wallet, your drawer, or your jar of spare change, waiting for the right eyes to notice it. This is what makes coin collecting so addictive and so thrilling. The hunt never ends, and every coin carries a story, whether it is worth face value or a fortune. As this video spreads, more people will check their quarters, more stories will emerge, and the legend of the 2013 P quarter dollar will continue to grow. Maybe you will be the one who finds the coin that shocks the world. Maybe you will be the one whose discovery makes headlines and rewrites modern coin history. So before you spend another quarter, take a closer look, slow down, and remember that sometimes the smallest things carry the biggest surprises. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most talked about modern coins, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, because more unbelievable coin stories are coming, and you never know, the next video might lead you straight to your own hidden fortune. Welcome back, coin hunters and history lovers. Today you are about to hear a story that sounds impossible, unbelievable, and shocking, yet it is spreading across the coin collecting world faster than wildfire. This is the story of a 2022 D mint mark quarter dollar coin that many people are calling a modern miracle, a pocket change treasure, and even a potential $11 million discovery. Imagine holding a simple quarter in your hand, the same coin you use for coffee, snacks, parking meters, or vending machines, and realizing it could change your life forever. This is not a movie plot, this is not a fantasy, this is a story that has collectors checking every wallet, every jar, and every drawer in their home. The year 2022 feels like yesterday for most people, which makes this story even more powerful, because we are not talking about ancient gold or 100-year-old silver. We are talking about a modern quarter struck in our lifetime, minted in Denver with the small D mint mark that most people never notice. This tiny letter under the date is now at the center of one of the biggest viral coin discussions on the internet. So how could a 2022 D quarter ever be linked with a value as high as $11 million? The answer lies in rarity, mystery, errors, and the psychology of collectors who are always chasing the next legendary coin. Every great coin story starts with confusion and doubt, and this one is no different. At first, the 2022 D quarter was just another release from the United States Mint, part of the American Women Quarters program, honoring influential women in American history. Millions were produced and spent immediately with no attention at all. Then rumors began to circulate. Collectors on forums and social media started posting images of strange 2022 D quarters coins with unusual characteristics. Some showed dramatic die errors, some appeared to have missing layers, some displayed double details so extreme they could be seen without magnification, others looked like they were struck on the wrong planchet. And suddenly the quiet modern quarter became the loudest topic in the room. One particular story went viral. A collector claimed to have discovered a unique 2022 D quarter with a combination of multiple rare errors never before seen together on a modern clad quarter. The claim suggested this coin was a one-of-one discovery, something so rare that elite collectors would fight to own it. When rumors of private offers began to surface, people started attaching massive numbers to the story. And the number that shocked everyone was $11 million. Now let us slow down and understand why collectors even consider such extreme valuations. In the world of numismatics, value is not only about age, it is about rarity, condition, historical importance, and demand. Some of the most expensive coins in the world are unique error coins or experimental strikes that were never meant to exist. When something like that appears, collectors with deep pockets pay almost anything to secure a 2022 D Quarter discussion centers on the possibility of a mint era created during a time of massive production stress, supply chain issues, and new designs all happening at once. The Denver Mint was producing huge volumes of coins, and when production increases, the risk of mistakes also increases. Most mistakes are caught and destroyed, but history shows that some slip through, and when they do, they become legends. People searching their change are now looking for specific signs on 2022 quarters. They are checking for extreme doubling on the date and lettering. They are examining the rim for missing sections. They are weighing coins to see if they are lighter or heavier than normal. They are inspecting surfaces for wrong metal composition, and they are looking for off-center strikes so dramatic they cannot be ignored. Condition plays a huge role as well. A coin in mint state condition, untouched by circulation, multiplies its potential value. Collectors dream of finding a pristine example straight from a mint roll, because where kills value quickly, even the rarest era loses its magic if it is damaged. The viral nature of this story has created a modern treasure hunt. Thousands of people who never cared about coins are suddenly watching videos, reading articles, and dumping jars of change onto tables, all because of the idea that one quarter could be worth millions. This is the power of a compelling coin story. It turns everyday objects into symbols of hope. It is important to understand that not every 2022 quarter is valuable. Most are worth exactly 25 cents and always will be, but the hunt is about that one exception that breaks the rules, the one coin that should not exist, the one coin that rewrites the record books. Professional grading services play a crucial role in this process. Any coin claiming extraordinary value must be authenticated, graded, and verified by top experts. Without that confirmation, stories remain rumors, but even rumors are enough to ignite imagination and drive viral interest. The market value claim of $11 million represents a best-case extreme scenario, often discussed in speculative conversations rather than confirmed public sales, but speculation itself fuels demand because collectors want to be early. They want to be the one who believed before the world did. History is full of examples that started exactly like this. Coins once dismissed, later sold for millions because someone looked closer, paid attention, and took a chance. This is why collectors never stop searching. This is why change is never boring to those who understand its potential. The 2022 quarter story also highlights a deeper truth about money and history. Every coin carries a moment in time, a snapshot of economic conditions, technology, and human error. Sometimes those factors align perfectly and create something extraordinary. Right now, somewhere in a pocket drawer or cash register, a rare 2022 quarter could be waiting unnoticed, and that possibility is what keeps people searching day and night. Every clink of change now sounds different when you believe a fortune could be hiding inside. So the next time you receive a quarter, do not rush to spend it. Flip it over, check the date, look for the D mint mark, examine it closely, because history has shown again and again that life-changing discoveries often come from the most ordinary places. Whether the $11 million valuation becomes reality or remains a legendary rumor, the impact is already real. It has inspired curiosity, excitement, and a renewed love for coin collecting, and sometimes that spark is worth more than money itself. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most talked about modern coin mysteries, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, because the next big discovery could already be in your hand, and you do not want to miss the moment when ordinary change becomes extraordinary. Welcome back, coin hunters and treasure seekers. Today you are about to hear a story that could completely change the way you look at loose change forever, because this is not just another old coin story. This is the unbelievable reality of the 1966 no mint mark $quarter coin, a coin that millions of people have touched, spent, ignored, and forgotten. Yet some rare examples of this exact coin have shocked collectors by reaching an incredible market value of $69,808. Imagine holding a simple quarter in your hand and realizing it could be worth more than a luxury car, more than years of salary, and more than what most people would ever expect from a coin that once bought a soda or a newspaper. This video is going to open your eyes, and by the end you will never look at your pocket change the same way again. The year 1966 sits at a fascinating moment in American coin history, because this was a time of massive transition, fear, and confusion across the United States as silver prices were rising fast and people were hoarding coins. The government made a bold decision that would forever change coin collecting, and this is exactly why the 1966 quarter is so special. During this period, the United States Mint removed mint marks from coins to discourage hoarding. That means no D, no S, no identifying letter at all, so every 1966 quarter was produced without a mint mark, which is why the phrase no mint mark is so important, and so misleading at the same time because while all 1966 quarters have no mint mark, only a tiny fraction of them are worth serious money, and that is where the mystery begins. The 1966 quarter was made of a copper nickel-clad composition instead of silver, which disappointed the public at the time, but what collectors did not realize was that this change created conditions for some of the rarest and most valuable era coins and high-grade specimens ever discovered. The design features George Washington on the front with a strong, dignified profile, originally created by John Flanagan, and the reverse shows the iconic American eagle with wings spread, symbolizing freedom, strength, and power. This design might look ordinary, but when combined with certain striking characteristics, minting anomalies, and exceptional preservation, it transforms into a collector dream worth tens of thousands of dollars. The key to the $69,808 value lies in condition, rarity, and errors. Some 1966 quarters were struck with extraordinary detail, sharp lines, full hair definition, and a flawless surface. These coins are known as high-grade mint state examples, especially those graded MS-67 and above by professional grading services. And here is the shocking truth: only a handful of these coins exist in such pristine condition because quarters were heavily circulated, used daily, dropped, scratched, and worn down. So finding one that survived untouched is like finding a needle in a haystack, and when one appears at auction, collectors go wild, bidding higher and higher, driven by competition, scarcity, and the dream of owning a perfect piece of history. But condition alone is not the whole story, because certain 1966 quarters feature rare mint errors that send their value skyrocketing. Some of these errors include off-center strikes, doubled die details, die cracks, die clashes, and planchet anomalies. Each error tells a story of a moment when the minting process went wrong, and that mistake created a unique collectible that can never be replicated. Imagine a quarter where the date appears doubled, or the design looks slightly shifted, or extra metal lines appear across the surface. These are not damage, they are mint errors, and collectors pay huge money for them because they represent a one-of-a-kind accident frozen in metal. Now imagine combining a rare error with a high-grade condition. That is where the magic happens. That is where a 1966 quarter can climb into the $69,808 range. Auctions have proven time and time again that collectors are willing to pay unbelievable prices for the finest known examples, because once they are locked away in collections they may never appear on the market again, and this scarcity fuels desire even more. Another critical factor is professional grading. Without certification, even a rare coin may go unnoticed, but once a 1966 quarter is authenticated, graded, and sealed by a trusted grading company, it gains instant credibility and market confidence. Collectors rely on these grades to determine value, and the difference between an MS-65 and an MS-67 can mean thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars. So if you ever suspect you have a special quarter, grading is not optional, it is essential. Now let us talk about why so many people might still have this coin today. Because the 1966 quarter was minted in huge numbers, over 800 million were produced, and that is exactly why people assume it is common and worthless. But rarity does not always come from low mintage, it comes from survival rate. How many coins remain in top condition after decades of use? And the answer is almost none. Most were worn down, melted, lost, or damaged, leaving only a microscopic percentage in collectible condition. And that is why treasure could still be hiding in old jars, drawers, inherited collections, or forgotten boxes from grandparents who saved coins without realizing their future value. Imagine discovering that one special quarter while cleaning your house and realizing it could pay for your dreams. This is not fantasy, this has happened to real people, and it can happen again. The 1966 no mint mark quarter represents more than money, it represents history, chance, and the power of knowledge. Those who understand what to look for have an advantage over those who spend rare coins unknowingly every single day. So the next time you see a quarter, do not rush to spend it. Examine it carefully, look at the date, inspect the details, check the conditions, search for anything unusual, because that simple habit could change your life forever. Collectors all over the world are constantly searching for the next discovery and the next record-breaking coin, and the 1966 quarter continues to surprise the market, proving that modern-era coins can be just as valuable as ancient gold when the right factors align. This coin is a reminder that extraordinary value often hides in ordinary places, and that fortune favors those who pay attention. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most shocking quarter-dollar stories ever discovered, make sure to stay tuned, because more hidden treasures are waiting to be revealed, and your next big find might already be in your pocket right now. Imagine holding a simple $quarter in your hand and realizing that this small everyday coin could secretly be worth more than a luxury car, more than years of hard work, and more than most people ever expect from loose change. Today we are diving deep into one of the most shocking coin stories ever, the 1980p mint mark $quarter, a coin millions of people have used, spent, and ignored. Yet a rare version of this exact coin has stunned collectors with a market value reaching $53,769. Stay with me, because what you are about to learn could completely change how you look at every quarter you see from today onward. The United States $quarter is one of the most familiar coins in circulation, and because of that familiarity, people assume it has no surprises. But history has proven again and again that the most common-looking coins hide the most extraordinary secrets. The 1980p quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint during a time of massive production changes, economic uncertainty, and evolving minting technology, and those conditions created the perfect storm for rare errors and ultra-high-grade survivors that collectors now fight to own. In 1980, the Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of Washington quarters. These coins were meant for everyday use, and very few people thought about saving them, but among these massive numbers a tiny fraction were struck with exceptional quality, or with rare minting anomalies, and those special pieces are what drive jaw-dropping prices today. Collectors do not pay $53,000 for just any quarter, they pay that amount for perfection, rarity, and history combined into one small silver-colored disc. The 1980p quarter does not contain silver, and that often makes people dismiss it instantly. But value in coin collecting is not only about metal, it is about condition, rarity, demand, and story. Some 1980p quarters were struck with razor-sharp details, flawless surfaces, and incredible luster. These coins are known as high-grade mint state examples, and when certified by professional grading services they become elite treasures, especially when they reach grades that only a handful of coins have ever achieved. One of the most important factors behind the massive value of the 1980p quarter is grade. Coins are graded on a scale that measures wear and strike quality, surface preservation, and overall eye appeal. A coin that has never circulated and has no visible marks, even under magnification, can achieve a top grade, and for modern quarters achieving that level is incredibly rare because they were produced for speed, not perfection, and were immediately dumped into bags and bins where they banged into each other, causing marks and scratches. Finding a 1980p quarter that survived all of that untouched is almost miraculous, and that is why collectors are willing to pay enormous sums when one appears at auction. These coins represent the absolute peak of modern coin preservation, and owning one is like owning a time capsule frozen at the exact moment it left the mint floor. Another major value driver is mint errors. Some 1980p quarters were struck with dramatic errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, planchet defects, and die breaks. These errors are not damage, they are mistakes made during the minting process, and collectors love them because each error is unique. An error quarter tells a story of a moment when the mint machinery failed and created something that was never supposed to exist. Imagine a quarter with doubling on the lettering, or a misaligned design, or missing details. These errors instantly make the coin stand out, and depending on severity and eye appeal, the value can skyrocket into the thousands, and in rare cases into the tens of thousands, especially when combined with pristine condition. The Washington quarter design itself adds to the appeal. The obverse features George Washington with strong bold features, while the reverse shows the heraldic eagle with spread wings symbolizing strength and freedom. On a high-grade 1980p quarter, every feather, every letter, and every line appears sharp and frosty, creating a visual impact that collectors crave. This is why appeal plays such a huge role. When two coins have the same technical grade, the more beautiful one almost always sells for more. Auction history has proven time and time again that top population coins bring record prices when a certified 1980p quarter graded at the absolute highest level comes to market. Collectors know they may never see another one like it again. That fear of missing out drives intense bidding wars and pushes prices to unbelievable heights, reaching values like $53,769 and sometimes even more depending on demand. Another reason this coin is trending is because modern coin collecting is exploding. New collectors are entering the hobby every day, fueled by social media, viral videos, and stories of pocket change turning into fortunes. When people hear that a quarter from 1980 could be worth more than a house deposit, they start checking jars, drawers, and old collections, and that surge of interest increases demand, which in turn pushes prices even higher for the best examples. Now here is the most important part you need to know. Not every 1980p quarter is valuable. Most are worth face value, but the few rare ones are life-changing, and the only way to know what you have is to check carefully. Look for the P mint mark near the date. Examine the coin under good lighting. Check for strong details, minimal marks, and any unusual features. If you believe you have something special, professional grading is the key, because certification is what transforms a regular coin into a recognized investment piece. Coin collecting is one of the few hobbies where knowledge truly equals money. The more you learn, the better your chances of spotting something incredible before anyone else, and stories like the 1980p quarter prove that treasures are not always ancient gold coins. Sometimes they are hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone curious enough to look closely. So the next time you receive a quarter and change, pause for a moment, examine it, feel its weight, look at its details, because history has shown again and again that ordinary coins can become extraordinary, and the 1980p mint mark quarter dollar is living proof that a small coin can carry a massive surprise. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most shocking modern coin values, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, because more unbelievable coin stories are coming, and you never know, the next coin we talk about might already be sitting in your pocket right now. Imagine reaching into your pocket and pulling out a simple quarter dollar that looks ordinary, feels ordinary, and yet could secretly be worth $49,871. Yes, this is not a movie scene, this is real life, and today we are talking about the 1988 mint mark quarter dollar coin, a coin that millions of people have touched, spent, ignored, and forgotten without realizing the hidden story and shocking market value that can change everything. So stay with me, because by the end of this video you will never look at a quarter the same way again. This story begins in 1988, when the United States Mint was producing millions of Washington quarter dollars for everyday use. The Denver Mint marked these coins with a small D mint mark, and they were released straight into circulation. People used them for parking meters, vending machines, bus fares, and grocery stores. Nobody cared about them, nobody saved them, nobody imagined that decades later collectors would search desperately for certain examples of this exact coin. The 1988 D quarter is part of the classic Washington quarter series, featuring George Washington on the front with his strong profile facing left, symbolizing leadership, strength, and history. On the back you see the iconic eagle with spread wings representing freedom, power, and the spirit of America. This design was common at the time, which is exactly why people overlooked it. Rarity often hides inside the most common things. Now you might be asking, why would a 1988 D quarter ever be worth nearly $50,000? The answer lies in condition, rarity, and errors that only serious collectors understand. Most 1988 D quarters are only worth face value, but a tiny number exist in extraordinary condition or with rare mint errors that skyrocket their market value. One of the biggest factors is grade. Coin grading is the process where experts examine a coin under magnification, looking at every tiny detail, including shine, strike, sharpness, and surface preservation. A 1988 D quarter graded at the highest levels, such as MS68 or higher, is incredibly rare. Most coins from that year were poorly struck or heavily circulated, so finding one in near perfect condition is like finding a diamond in a parking lot. Collectors are obsessed with perfection. When a coin shows full original mint luster, razor sharp details, and absolutely know where it becomes a trophy coin. Auction houses go wild, bidding wars erupt, and prices climb higher and higher. This is how a simple quarter can reach jaw-dropping values like $49,871, but condition is not the only secret. Some 1988 D quarters were struck with minting errors that make them extremely valuable. We are talking about off-center strikes, doubled dies, weak strikes, clipped planchets, and other rare anomalies. These mistakes happened when the minting machines malfunctioned for a brief moment, creating coins that were never supposed to exist. Collectors love these errors because they are one-of-a-kind moments frozen in metal. Imagine owning a coin that represents a mistake from history, something that should have been destroyed but escaped into circulation unnoticed. This is why error coins command such insane prices. They tell a story no other coin can tell. Another reason the 1988 D quarter is gaining attention right now is rising demand. The coin collecting market has exploded. People around the world are hunting through old jars, drawers, piggy banks, and inherited collections, social media, and YouTube have awakened a new generation of collectors who realize that everyday coins can hold extraordinary value. The sudden surge in interest pushes prices up, especially for rare high-grade examples. Auction records show that top-tier 1988 quarters have shocked the numismatic world with prices that stunned even veteran collectors. When a coin sells for tens of thousands of dollars, it creates headlines, and once headlines appear, demand follows. Everyone wants to find the next one. Everyone hopes the next quarter they touch is a lucky one. Now let us talk about how you can identify a valuable 1988 quarter. First, check the date. It must read 1988. Then look just to the right of Washington's ponytail. You should see a small D mint mark indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint. Next, examine the condition. Does the coin shine like it was just made? Are the details sharp? Is the eagle on the back fully defined with clear feathers? Anywhere scratches or dullness will reduce value dramatically. If you suspect your coin is special, do not clean it. Cleaning a coin can destroy its value instantly. Even gentle cleaning leaves microscopic scratches that grading experts can detect. Always keep the coin as is and store it safely. The next step is professional grading. Sending your coin to a trusted grading service can authenticate it, assign an official grade, and encapsulate it in a protective holder. This step is crucial because collectors and investors only pay premium prices for certified coins. Without certification, a coin worth thousands might sell for far less. Stories continue to surface of people discovering rare quarters in old collections inherited from relatives or forgotten in storage boxes. Imagine opening a dusty drawer and realizing that a single coin inside could pay for a car, a vacation, or even a down payment on a home. This is why these stories go viral, because they give hope, excitement, and curiosity to millions of viewers. The beauty of the 1988 quarter is that it reminds us value is not always obvious. Sometimes history hides in plain sight, waiting for the right eyes to notice it. Every coin has a journey from the mint to your hand, and some journeys end in extraordinary places. Right now, collectors are paying closer attention than ever before. Prices are rising and competition is fierce. If you own a 1988 quarter, now is the time to take a second look. You might be holding a small piece of metal with a massive story and life-changing potential. So the next time you hear the clink of coins or see a quarter on the ground, remember this video, remember the 1988 mint mark quarter dollar, and remember that hidden treasures are often closer than we think. If you enjoyed this story and want to learn more about rare coins, hidden values, and unbelievable discoveries, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, because you never know, the next coin we talk about might already be in your pocket right now. Imagine holding a simple quarter in your hand, a coin you have probably spent without thinking, a coin hiding in plain sight, a coin that could change everything. Today we are talking about a 1996 mint mark quarter dollar coin that shocked collectors, stunned experts, and made headlines across the coin world because of a jaw-dropping market value reaching up to $60,935. Yes, you heard that right, a single quarter worth more than a luxury car, more than a down payment on a house, and possibly more than your yearly income. And the craziest part is millions of people may still have this coin sitting in drawers, wallets, piggy banks, and old jars without realizing what they are holding. So stay with me, because by the end of this video you will know exactly why this coin is so valuable, how to identify it, what mistakes make it rare, and how you could turn 25 cents into a life-changing amount of money. The year 1996 was special for many reasons. It marked a time when the United States Mint was producing quarters at massive levels to meet everyday circulation demand, but hidden within that flood of coins was a small group of quarters struck at the Denver Mint that turned out very different from the rest. This is where the story of the 1996 mint mark quarter begins. A coin that looks ordinary at first glance yet carries tiny details that can send its value skyrocketing. First, let us understand what the D mint mark means. The D stands for the Denver Mint, one of the main facilities used to strike us coins. The mint mark can be found on the obverse side of the quarter, just to the right of George Washington ribbon on the neck area. Most people never even notice this tiny letter, but for collectors it can mean the difference between pocket change and a fortune. Now let us talk about the design. The 1996 quarter features George Washington on the front, designed by John Flanagan, his portrait strong, calm, and timeless. The reverse shows the heraldic eagle with spread wings holding arrows and olive branches, a symbol of strength and peace. This design was used for decades, and because of that many people assume all these quarters are common and worthless, but assumptions are expensive mistakes in the coin world. What makes the 1996 quarter special is not just the year or the mint mark, it is the condition, the strike quality, and rare errors that occurred during production. Some of these Quarters were struck with exceptional sharpness, while others were struck with dramatic mistakes, errors that slipped through quality control and entered circulation unnoticed at the time. One of the most valuable examples of this coin is a 1990 60 quarter struck in nearly perfect mint state condition with full original luster, razor sharp details, and no visible wear. Coins like this are extremely rare because quarters are heavily used in daily transactions. Most get scratched, worn, and damaged very quickly. Finding one that survived untouched for decades is like finding a needle in a haystack. Even more valuable are error varieties. Some 1990 60 quarters were struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the blank metal disc used was not intended for a quarter. Others show doubled die errors where parts of the design appear doubled, especially in the lettering and date. There are also off-center strikes where the design is shifted, creating a dramatic and collectible look. These errors are what drive values into the tens of thousands. Imagine finding a quarter where the date appears doubled or the lettering looks thicker than normal. This is not damage, this is a mint error, and collectors pay huge money for these mistakes because they represent a moment in time when the mint machinery failed in a unique way and could never be exactly replicated. Another factor that pushes the value of the 1990 60 quarter so high is professional grading. Coins that have been authenticated and graded by top grading companies like PCGS or NGC carry far more value because buyers trust their condition and authenticity. A 1990 60 quarter graded at the highest levels like MS 68 or higher becomes incredibly rare, with only a handful known to exist. This is where auction prices can reach incredible heights, including the $60,935 mark. Now you might be thinking, how can I tell if my quarter is valuable? The first step is to check the date and mint mark. Look for 1996 and the small d. Next, examine the coin under good lighting. Look for strong details in Washington hair, the sharpness of the eagle feathers, and the overall shine. Next, look closely for errors, doubling, off-center strikes, or unusual thickness or weight. If something looks strange, do not clean the coin. Cleaning can destroy value instantly. Instead, place it in a protective holder and consider having it evaluated by a professional. The reason stories like this go viral is because they give people hope, real tangible hope that treasure can still be found in everyday life, not buried in the ground, not locked in a vault, but hiding in plain sight inside your own home. That feeling of checking your change with excitement is powerful, and that is why coin collecting continues to grow worldwide. Think about how many quarters pass through your hands every year, hundreds, maybe thousands. Now imagine just one of them being worth more than $60,000. That possibility alone is enough to make anyone stop and look twice at their spare change. And this is not just about money, it is about history. Every coin tells a story. The 1990 60 quarter tells a story of American minting technology, human error, and the unpredictable nature of value. How something made for everyday use can transform into a rare collectible desired by collectors around the world. Collectors love this coin because it represents the end of an era. Just a few years later, the state quarters program would begin changing the quarter design forever. That makes pre-state quarters like this one even more desirable, especially in high-grade condition. If you are serious about checking your coins, start by going through old change jars, inherited collections, or even rolls of quarters from the bank. Yes, people still find valuable coins in bank rolls because not everyone knows what to look for. Patience, knowledge, and a little luck can pay off. Big many collectors who discovered valuable coins say the same thing. They almost spent it, they almost ignored it, they almost gave up, and that is why education matters. Watching videos like this can literally change your life, because once you know what to look for, you never see pocket change the same way again. So the next time you hear a quarter drop on the table, do not dismiss it. Pick it up, look at the date, look for the D mint mark, check the condition, and remember that the 1990 60 quarter is proof that hidden treasures still exist. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most exciting modern quarter discoveries, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with friends and family, because you never know who might be holding a fortune in their pocket right now. Today I want to tell you a shocking true story that most people have never heard, and once you hear it you will never look at a penny the same way again, because this is not just a coin, this is history, this is mystery, and this is real money hiding in plain sight. In your pocket, in your drawer, in your old piggy bank, there could be a single brown copper coin that looks ordinary but is actually worth more than a luxury car. Yes, I am talking about the 1944 no mint mark, weak 1-cent penny, and the unbelievable market value that has shocked collectors around the world, reaching as high as $50,932. Stay with me until the end, because what you are about to learn could literally change your life. People have found this coin by accident. People have spent it without knowing. People have held it for years not realizing they were holding a fortune. And today you will learn exactly why this coin is so valuable, how to identify it, and how one small detail can turn a simple penny into a treasure. The year 1944 was one of the most important years in American history. The world was at war. Factories were running day and night. Metal was needed for weapons, tanks, ships, and bullets. Because of this, the United States Mint had already made changes to pennies in earlier years, switching materials to support the war effort. By 1944, the Mint returned to making pennies out of copper, but something incredible happened during this transition. A very small number of pennies were struck without a mint mark at the Philadelphia Mint using copper planchets. These coins looked normal at first glance. They carried Abraham Lincoln on the front and the iconic wheat ears on the back. But hidden inside these coins was a story of rarity, error, survival, and extreme demand. Now here is where things get interesting. Not every 1944 wheat penny is valuable. In fact, most of them are worth only a few cents. But a very specific type of 1944 no mint mark wheat penny has sold for up to $50,932. And the reason is condition, rarity, and minting history combined. The Philadelphia Mint produced millions of pennies in 1944, but only a tiny fraction survived in near perfect condition. Coins were used heavily during wartime. People were not saving pennies. They were spending them every day on bread, milk, newspapers, and bus rides. Because of this, finding a 1944 penny today in extremely high grade is incredibly difficult. Collectors grade coins based on surface quality, shine, strike detail, and overall preservation. When a 1944 no mint mark wheat penny is found with sharp details, full original luster, and almost nowhere, it becomes a collector dream. These coins are often graded by professional services and placed in protective holders. Once graded at the highest levels, the value skyrockets. One such coin shocked the entire coin collecting world when it sold for $50,932 at auction. That single penny changed hands for more money than many people earn in a year. And the craziest part is that it once had the same buying power as a piece of candy. So how do you know if you might have one of these valuable coins? First, look at the date. It must say 1944. Next, check for a mint mark. If there is no letter below the date, then it was made in Philadelphia. This is what no mint mark means. Then look at the color. It should be a rich brown or red-brown copper color. Steel pennies from other years look gray and magnetic. This one should not stick to a magnet. Now look closely at Lincoln's face. Are the details sharp? Can you see the lines in his hair? Is the wheat on the back clearly defined? The more detail, the better. If the coin looks unusually clean, bright, or well preserved, then you may have something special. Many people make the mistake of cleaning old coins. This is one of the worst things you can do. Cleaning destroys the surface and can reduce value dramatically. A clean penny, even if rare, can lose most of its worth. Always leave the coin exactly as you found it. The reason collectors pay so much for these coins is not just age. It is the combination of history, condition, scarcity, and demand. There are thousands of collectors chasing only a handful of top-quality examples. When one appears at auction, bidding wars begin. Prices climb fast. Emotions take over. And suddenly a penny becomes a five-figure investment. Think about how many pennies exist in the world. Billions. Now think about how many are worth more than $50,000. Almost none. That is what makes this story so powerful. Something so small, so common, so overlooked can secretly be life-changing. There are stories of people inheriting jars of coins from grandparents and discovering rare wheat pennies. There are stories of kids searching through rolls of pennies from the bank and finding hidden gems. There are even stories of construction workers finding old pennies in walls and floors during renovations. The 1944 no mint mark wheat penny represents hope, curiosity, and the reward of paying attention. It teaches us that value is not always obvious. Sometimes it is hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right person to notice. Coin collecting is one of the few hobbies where history, money, and discovery all come together. Every coin has a story. But some stories are louder than others. And this penny is screaming its story to those who are willing to listen. If you enjoyed this story and want to learn about more rare coins hiding in everyday change, then make sure to stay connected. Check your pockets, check your drawers, check those old jars of coins. Because the next valuable penny might already be in your home. And remember, this is not just about money. It is about knowledge. The more you know, the more powerful you become. A single piece of information can turn ordinary objects into extraordinary opportunities. So the next time someone tells you a penny is worthless, remember the 1944 no-mint mark wheat penny. Remember that one sold for $50,932. And remember that sometimes the smallest things carry the biggest surprises. Keep searching, keep learning, and never underestimate what history can leave behind. Welcome back to the channel where ordinary coins turn into extraordinary stories and hidden treasures are revealed right before your eyes. Today we are diving deep into one of the most shocking and misunderstood coins in American history, the 1946 no-mint mark wheat 1-cent penny, a coin that millions of people have seen but very few truly understand, and some collectors are paying as much as $69,413 for just one example. And by the end of this video you might realize that the penny sitting in your drawer could be worth more than a brand new luxury car. So stay with me until the end, because the final detail could completely change how you look at every penny forever. The year is 1946. The world is coming out of the chaos of World War II. Factories are shifting from weapons back to everyday items. America is rebuilding. Families are hopeful, and quietly the United States Mint produces millions of pennies that would later shock the coin collecting world. This was a transition year, a year of change. And that is exactly why the 1946 wheat penny without a mint mark is so special. First, let us understand what no mint mark actually means. Many people think no mint mark means an error or a mistake, but that is not always true. In 1946, pennies without a mint mark were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and Philadelphia pennies traditionally carried no mint mark at all. This alone does not make the coin rare, but here is where things get interesting. The 1946 wheat penny was made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, returning to the pre-war composition after the steel cents of 1943, and this change created unique striking conditions. Some planchets were imperfect, some dies were worn, and some coins were struck with exceptional detail that collectors now hunt aggressively. When you look at the front of the coin, you will see Abraham Lincoln facing right with the words "In God We Trust." Above his head, Liberty on the left, and the date 1946 on the right. But collectors are not just looking at the date, they are studying the sharpness of Lincoln's jaw, the clarity of his coat, the separation in his hair, and even the tiniest details in his ear, because those details can mean the difference between a 1-cent coin and a $69,000 treasure. Now turn the coin over, and you will see the famous wheat ears on both sides, framing the words 1 cent and United States of America with the pluribus unum across the top. This design, known as the wheat reverse, was used from 1909 until 1958, and it is one of the most beloved designs in American coinage history. But not all wheat pennies are created equal. The most valuable 1946 no-mint mark wheat pennies are those in extremely high-grade condition, especially those graded mint state 67 red by professional grading services. These coins show full original red luster, nowhere razor-sharp details, and incredible eye appeal, and there are only a handful known to exist in this condition, which is why collectors are willing to pay insane prices. One such coin shocked the collecting world when it sold for $69,413 at auction, and this was not hype, this was not speculation, this was a verified, professionally graded coin with exceptional characteristics that set it apart from the millions of others struck that year. But here is the part most people miss. Value is not just about condition, it is also about errors, varieties, and striking anomalies, and the 1946 wheat penny is known for several fascinating ones. Some examples show double die obverse where the date and lettering appear double due to a misalignment during the die creation process. Others show repunched dates or die cracks that add uniqueness and desirability, and then there are off-metal strikes and wrong planchet errors that can send values skyrocketing. Imagine finding a 1946 wheat penny struck on a foreign planchet, or with a dramatic off-center strike. These coins are one of a kind, and collectors will fight over them because rarity creates demand and demand creates value. Another factor driving prices higher is historical importance. 1946 marks the first full year after World War II. America was changing, and this penny represents that transition. It is a small piece of metal carrying a massive Story and collectors love coins with stories. Now you might be wondering, how can I tell if my 1946 penny is valuable? The answer starts with condition. Look closely. Does the coin still have red color, or is it brown or reddish brown? Does it show wear on Lincoln's cheek or jaw? Are the wheat lines sharp and separated? If your coin looks almost new, you might be holding something special. Next, check for errors. Use a magnifying glass and look at the date and lettering. Doubling, cracks, or unusual marks that do not look like damage can be key indicators of value. Never clean the coin. Cleaning destroys value instantly and permanently. If you think your coin might be special, the next step is professional grading. Services like PCGS or NGC authentication protects you and gives collectors confidence, and that confidence translates directly into higher prices. Many people unknowingly spend these coins every day. They sit in jars, wallets, and old collections inherited from grandparents, quietly waiting to be discovered. And the saddest part is that some of the most valuable examples were once dismissed as pocket change. This is why collectors always say check every penny, because 1-cent coins have created more million-dollar stories than almost any other denomination in American history, and the 1946 wheat penny is proof of that. Today prices continue to rise as fewer high-grade examples remain available. Collectors are locking them away long-term, and demand keeps growing, especially among new collectors entering the hobby through social media and viral videos just like this one. Imagine being the person who finds a $69,000 penny in an old jar. Imagine the disbelief, the excitement, and the life-changing moment that starts with something everyone else ignores. That is the magic of coin collecting. So if you have old pennies, take them out today. Look at the dates. Look closely at 1946. Check for no mint mark. Examine the condition, and never assume it is worthless, because history has proven that the smallest coins can hold the biggest surprise. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1946 no mint mark wheat 1-cent penny and want more videos like this, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with anyone who has old coins at home, because you never know whose life might change with just one penny. Stay curious, keep collecting, and remember, treasures are often hiding in plain sight. Imagine opening an old drawer in your house and finding a small brown penny that looks ordinary but could secretly be worth $91,695. This is not a movie scene, this is real life, and today we are talking about the legendary 1948 no mint mark wheat 1-cent penny, a coin that millions of people have touched but almost nobody truly understands. Stay with me, because by the end of this video you might look at every penny in your pocket like a hidden treasure. The year 1948 was a powerful time in American history. The world was rebuilding after war. Factories were running full speed, and the United States Mint was striking millions of coins for daily use. Among them was the wheat penny, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the front and 2 wheat ears on the back, a design that already holds a special place in the hearts of collectors. Now here is where things get exciting. The 1948 penny was made at the Philadelphia Mint, and because of that it carries no mint mark below the date. This tiny detail is what confuses many people and causes rare coins to be spent like loose change every single day. Most 1948 pennies are common and worth just a few cents, but a very small number of these coins were struck with special characteristics, errors, or exceptional condition that pushed their value into shocking territory. This is how a simple 1-cent coin can climb all the way to a market value of $91,695. Condition is everything in the coin world, and when we talk about high-value wheat pennies, we are talking about coins that survived more than 70 years with almost no wear. Imagine a penny that never truly circulated, one that kept its sharp edges, clean surfaces, and original mint luster. These are known as mint state coins, and they are incredibly rare for older pennies. Some 1948 no mint mark wheat pennies have been graded at the highest levels by professional grading services. These grades confirm authenticity, quality, and preservation, and once a coin reaches that elite level, collectors around the world start competing for it. Competition drives price, and price creates headlines, but condition alone is not the only factor. Some 1948 pennies were struck with fascinating mint errors that collectors love. Errors turn normal coins into once-in-a-lifetime finds. Think about doubled designs, off-center strikes, or planchet issues. These mistakes happened during fast-paced minting operations, and most were caught and destroyed, but a few escaped into circulation. A doubled die 1948 penny can show doubling on the date, or on the word liberty, or even on the motto "In God We Trust." When this doubling is strong and clear, it can multiply the value dramatically. Collectors pay massive premiums for visible errors because they represent a moment when the minting process went Wrong metal quality also matters. During the 1940s, the composition of pennies had recently returned to copper after wartime changes. This means some pennies from this era show unique color tones and surface textures. A penny with rich red color is far more valuable than one that turned brown over time. Color is graded as red, brown, or brown, and the brightest red examples bring the highest prices. Imagine a collector auction where two bidders both want the finest known 1948 mint mark wheat penny. Neither wants to lose, and the price keeps climbing higher and higher until suddenly the hammer drops at $91,695. This is how records are made, and this is why people never stop searching their change. Many people assume rare coins are locked away in museums, but the truth is some of the greatest discoveries happen in everyday places. Old piggy banks, inherited jars, or forgotten boxes in closets. Stories exist of people finding valuable wheat pennies while cleaning out family homes. This is not a fantasy, it happens more often than you think. If you want to check your own 1948 penny, start by looking under the date. If there is no mint mark, you are on the right track. Next, examine the condition. Look for sharp details on Lincoln's hair, coat, and cheek. Flip the coin and inspect the wheat ears. They should be clear and well defined. Then check the color. Does the coin still glow with a copper red shine, or has it turned dark brown? The brighter the color, the better your chances. Finally, use a magnifying glass to search for doubling or unusual features. Anything that looks off could be a clue to a valuable error. Never clean a coin. Cleaning destroys value instantly. Even a rare penny can become nearly worthless if it is cleaned. Collectors want originality. Scratches and shine from cleaning are a red flag. The market for rare pennies is stronger than ever. Social media videos, auction results, and viral stories are bringing new collectors into the hobby every day. This increased attention pushes prices higher, especially for top condition coins with documented rarity. The 1948 no mint mark wheat penny sits at a perfect crossroads of history, nostalgia, and scarcity. It is old enough to be historic but modern enough to still appear in collections and estates. This balance makes it incredibly desirable. When you hold one of these pennies, you are holding a piece of American history. You are touching a coin that survived decades of economic change, cultural shifts, and countless hands, yet only a tiny number survived in pristine condition. This is why collectors are willing to pay tens of thousands of dollars for what looks like pocket change. To everyone else, knowledge is power, and in the coin world, knowledge can turn 1 cent into $91,695. So the next time you see a wheat penny, do not ignore it. Look closer, study it, because hidden inside that small copper coin could be a story, a mystery, and maybe even a life-changing value. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the legendary 1948 mint mark wheat penny, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, because more hidden treasure stories are coming, and you never know which coin could make headlines next. Imagine waking up one morning, checking an old jar of pennies that has been sitting quietly in your home for decades, and suddenly realizing that one single coin inside that jar could change your entire life forever. Today we are diving deep into one of the most talked about and most searched rare coin stories on the internet, the legendary 1957 mint mark wheat 1 cent penny, a coin that looks ordinary at first glance, yet has stunned collectors, shocked families, and created massive buzz across YouTube, TikTok, and coin communities worldwide. This is not just a penny, this is a hidden story of history, rarity, and unbelievable market value, reaching as high as $89,342 in extraordinary cases. So stay with me, because what you are about to hear may completely change how you look at every penny you touch. The year 1957 was a powerful moment in American history. The post-war economy was booming, families were growing, industries were expanding, and everyday people were carrying wheat pennies in their pockets without any idea that some of these coins would later become legendary. The 1957 wheat penny was one of the final issues before the Lincoln Memorial reverse replaced the classic wheat design, making it one of the last chances to own a piece of old American coinage history that still feels timeless and authentic. Now let us talk about the D mint mark. This tiny letter located below the year on the coin represents the Denver Mint, a facility known for producing massive quantities of coins. Yet within those millions, a few very special pennies slip through with errors, unusual strikes, and extraordinary characteristics that separate them from the rest, and those special pieces are the ones collectors fight over today. At first glance, a 1957 wheat penny looks simple: Abraham Lincoln on the front, strong and dignified, the wheat ears on the back symbolizing prosperity and unity. But what most people do not realize is that the true value of a coin is not always in what you see immediately. It is hidden in details so small that only time, patience, and expert eyes can reveal them. Some 1957 wheat pennies were struck with incredible mint errors, including off-center strikes, doubled dies, repunched mint marks, and planchet mistakes. These errors are what transform a 1-cent coin into a 5-figure treasure. When such a penny is preserved in pristine condition and authenticated by professional grading services, it can shock the market and command prices that feel unreal. Now imagine a collector discovering a 1957 wheat penny with a strong double die effect where the date and lettering appear doubled to the naked eye. This type of visual drama sends collectors into a frenzy because it is proof of a rare minting mistake that can never be recreated again. Once that coin is struck, history is locked into metal forever. Condition is everything in the world of rare coins. A heavily worn penny may be interesting, but a sharply struck, fully red mint state example is where the magic happens. When a 1957 wheat penny survives decades without heavy circulation, showing bright original luster, crisp details, and flawless surfaces, collectors are willing to pay massive premiums to own it. Professional grading plays a huge role here. When a coin is certified and graded at an extremely high level, such as MS-67 or higher, it enters a completely different league. These elite coins are scarce, sometimes with only a handful known worldwide, and when one appears at auction, the competition becomes intense, pushing prices higher and higher until records are broken. This is how a simple wheat penny can reach values like $89,342, not because every coin is worth that amount, but because the rarest, best preserved, and most unique examples become legends in the hobby. These are the coins that make headlines, that inspire new collectors, and that fuel viral videos across social media. Think about how many pennies are sitting unnoticed in drawers, piggy banks, old wallets, and inherited collections right now, each one carrying the possibility of a hidden story. Most will be common, but it only takes one extraordinary piece to turn curiosity into life-changing excitement. Collectors around the world are constantly hunting for the next great discovery. They search rolls of coins, estate sales, flea markets, and family collections because history has proven again and again that rare coins are often found where nobody expects them. The 1957 wheat penny is especially fascinating because it represents the end of an era, the final chapter of the wheat reverse design before America moved into a new visual identity with the Lincoln Memorial. That emotional connection adds even more appeal to collectors who want to own a tangible piece of the past. Every scratch, every shine, every detail on these coins tells a story of where they have been, who carried them, and how they survived through time. When a coin remains untouched by harsh cleaning or damage, its natural beauty becomes irresistible. This is why experts always warn never to clean old coins. Cleaning destroys value and originality, which are the very qualities collectors pay for. If you believe you have found a rare wheat penny, the smartest move is to protect it and seek professional evaluation. Stories continue to surface online of people discovering rare pennies in ordinary places, and those stories are not myths, they are reminders that history still lives in our hands. The excitement is real, the possibility is real, and the hunt never ends as demand for rare coins grows and more people enter the hobby. Prices for top examples continue to rise, making high-grade wheat pennies more desirable than ever. Collectors see them not just as coins but as investments, pieces of art, and fragments of American heritage. The 1957 wheat penny stands proudly among these treasures, representing craftsmanship, history, and the thrill of discovery. Whether you are a seasoned collector or someone just starting out, this coin teaches an important lesson: never underestimate the small things. So the next time you hold a penny, pause for a moment, look closely, feel the weight, study the details, because you never know when an ordinary coin might be an extraordinary survivor waiting to reveal its true value. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the legendary 1957 wheat penny and want to learn how to spot valuable coins hiding in plain sight, make sure to stay connected, because there are countless stories like this waiting to be told, and one of them could be sitting right in your pocket right now. History, value, mystery, and opportunity, all wrapped into a single cent. That is the power of the 1957 mint mark wheat 1-cent penny. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving deep into one of the most mysterious and exciting coins ever found in everyday change, the 1957 mint mark wheat 1-cent penny, a small copper coin that many people overlook, yet collectors around the world are hunting this exact penny right now. Imagine holding a single cent coin in your hand and discovering it could be worth up to $70,923. This is not a fantasy, this is real, and today I will explain exactly why this penny is so special, how it was made, what errors make it valuable, and how you might already own one without even knowing it. Stay with me because this story only gets better as we go on. The 1957 wheat penny was minted in the United States during a powerful moment in history. America was growing fast, families were working hard, and coins like this were used every single day. This penny features the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the front, designed by Victor David Brenner, and on the back it shows 2 wheat ears, which is why collectors call it a wheat penny. This design was used from 1909 until 1958, which makes the 1957 issue one of the final wheat pennies ever produced, and that alone already makes it special. Now let us talk about the no mint mark detail. This is where things become interesting. When a penny has no mint mark, it means it was minted in Philadelphia at the main United States Mint facility. In 1957, millions of pennies were produced there. However, not all pennies are created equal. Some were struck with rare errors, some were struck with exceptional quality, and some survived in unbelievable condition for decades untouched by circulation, and when these factors combine, the value can skyrocket beyond imagination. Most 1957 wheat pennies are worth only a few cents, maybe $1 if they are in nice shape, but certain examples have sold for tens of thousands of dollars, including one that reached an astonishing value of $70,923. Collectors did not pay that amount for just any penny. They paid it for a very specific version with rare characteristics that we are about to uncover. One of the biggest factors that drives the value of this penny is condition. A coin graded in mint state with full original luster, sharp details, and no wear is extremely rare, especially after more than 60 years. The higher the grade, the more collectors compete, and when competition rises, prices explode. A 1957 no mint mark wheat penny graded at the highest levels by professional grading services can become a 5-figure treasure. Another powerful factor is striking quality. Some pennies from 1957 were struck with unusually strong details, deep lettering, and full wheat lines on the reverse. These details are highly prized because most pennies from that year were struck quickly for circulation and do not shows such sharp features. When a collector finds one that looks almost perfect, it becomes a centerpiece of any collection. Now let us talk about errors, because this is where legends are born. Error coins are mistakes made during the minting process, and some of the rarest 1957 wheat pennies include double die errors, off-center strikes, and planchet errors. A double die penny shows doubling in the date or lettering, which can often be seen with the naked eye, and these coins are among the most valuable and exciting finds in the hobby. If your penny looks like the numbers or letters have a shadow or double image, you could be holding something extraordinary. There are also pennies from 1957 that were struck on the wrong metal planchet. Although extremely rare, these mistakes can increase the value dramatically. Collectors love error coins because they tell a story of human imperfection inside a highly controlled system, and each error is unique, which makes them even more desirably so. How can you tell if you have a valuable 1957 no mint mark wheat penny? First, check the date carefully, then look just below the date and confirm there is no mint mark. Next, examine the overall condition. Look for shine, sharp edges, and strong detail. Then inspect the lettering and numbers for any signs of doubling. Finally, weigh the coin and compare it to known standards, because weight differences can signal a rare error. Many people have found valuable coins in old jars, drawers, inherited collections, and even loose change. Imagine the excitement of realizing that a penny you almost ignored could change your financial situation forever. This is why collectors always say never underestimate the power of 1 cent. The story of the 1957 wheat penny is not just about money, it is about history, craftsmanship, and discovery. Each coin has passed through countless hands and survived generations, and now it waits for someone to recognize its true value. That person could be you. If you enjoy treasure hunting stories like this and want to learn how to spot valuable coins in your own pocket, then make sure to stay connected to this channel, because we uncover hidden wealth, history, and secrets that most people never notice. Remember, always check your change, always stay curious, and never assume that something small has no value, because sometimes the smallest coin carries the biggest surprise. Thank you for watching, and good luck on your coin hunting journey. Your next great discovery might already be in your hand right now. Welcome back, everyone. Today you are about to discover one of the most shocking and unbelievable coin stories in American history, a story that has changed lives overnight and could still be hiding inside your pocket right now. This is the story of the 1958 no mint mark wheat 1 cent penny, a tiny copper coin that looks ordinary, feels ordinary, but has stunned collectors, investors, and experts around the world, because this single penny has reached an incredible market value of $75,698 in the Most shocking part is that many people still do not know what they are holding, so stay with me because by the end of this video you may look at every penny you own in a completely different way. Imagine this: you are cleaning an old drawer, a jar of loose change spills onto the table, pennies, nickels, dimes rolling everywhere, nothing special, until one coin catches your eye. It looks older, darker, heavier, different. You flip it over and see the familiar wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. Your heart starts beating faster because this is not just any penny, this is a wheat penny, and the year reads 1958 with no mint mark visible. This exact moment has happened to real people, and for some it became the start of a life-changing discovery. The 1958 wheat penny holds a special place in history because it represents the final year of the iconic wheat design that began in 1909 and ended in 1958. After this year, the design was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial, making the 1958 wheat penny the last of its kind. This alone already gives it historical importance, but when you combine that with rare minting characteristics, condition, and striking errors, the value can skyrocket to levels that most people would never imagine for a single cent. Now let us talk about the no mint mark detail, because this is where things become very interesting. When a penny has no mint mark, it means it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. During that time period, the Philadelphia Mint produced millions of pennies in 1958, but only a very small number of them were struck under special circumstances such as exceptional strike quality, rare die varieties, and near-perfect preservation. These are the coins that collectors hunt for aggressively and compete to own. One of the biggest reasons the 1958 no mint mark wheat penny can reach a value of $75,698 is condition. Condition is everything in the coin collecting world. A penny that has never been circulated, that shows sharp details, full wheat lines, bold lettering, and original luster can be exponentially more valuable than a worn example. When these coins are graded by professional services and receive extremely high grades, they enter an elite category where collectors are willing to pay enormous sums. There are also rare, striking anomalies associated with some 1958 wheat pennies, including doubled dies, weak strikes, and planchet irregularities. These errors are not damage, they occur during the minting process, and they make the coin unique, one of very few known examples. This rarity, combined with the end of the wheat penny era, creates intense demand and pushes prices higher and higher every year. Collectors are emotional about the wheat penny because it represents an era of American history, the post-war period, the rise of modern America, and the final chapter of a beloved design. Many collectors grew up seeing these coins in their parents' homes or grandparents' collections, and owning the final year wheat penny feels like owning a piece of that history. Auction records have proven time and time again that rare 1958 no mint mark wheat pennies in top condition can achieve staggering prices. Competitive bidding drives values higher, and when two serious collectors want the same coin, logic disappears and passion takes over. This is how a penny that once bought candy can now be worth more than a luxury car. What makes this even more exciting is that these coins are still being found. They are not all locked away in museums or private vaults. People continue to discover them in old collections, inherited boxes, and forgotten jars. This means there is still hope, there is still possibility, and there is still a chance that you or someone you know is unknowingly holding a small copper fortune. If you find a 1958 wheat penny, the first thing you should do is never clean it. Cleaning a coin can destroy its value instantly. Even gentle cleaning can leave microscopic scratches that grading companies can detect. Always handle the coin by its edges and store it safely, then have it examined by a professional coin dealer or grading service. The market for rare coins continues to grow as more investors look for tangible assets. Coins like the 1958 no mint mark wheat penny are not just collectibles, they are historical artifacts with proven demand, limited supply, and strong long-term potential. This is why values like $75,698 are not just hype, they are real results driven by the market. Every time you hear someone say it is just a penny, remember this story. Remember that history, rarity, condition, and demand can turn the smallest object into a massive treasure. The next time you see a wheat penny, stop, take a closer look, because that tiny coin might just be the last wheat penny of 1958, and it might be worth far more than you ever imagined. If you enjoy discovering hidden value, rare coins, and unbelievable money stories, make sure to stay connected because more shocking discoveries are coming, and you never know. The next coin we talk about might already be sitting in your pocket right now.